CTV News with Jack Morse.
The individuals that don't want help, they need to move on to somewhere that accepts that. We don't accept that in the city of Barrie.
Sparked by an emergency, demands for action. But are things better now, 1 month later? Thanks for joining us. Today marks a month since Barrie Mayor Alex Nuttall declared a state of emergency over the city's homelessness problem. Now the question remains, what's changed and what happens next? CTV's Luke Simard has been following the story from the start. He brings us the latest.
The city of Barrie does not have control over this emergency until now. Today I'm announcing that I've declared a state of emergency in the city of Barrie.
It has now been 31 days since the state of emergency was declared in Barrie, sparked by a double homicide in an encampment off of Ann Street over the summer, shining a light on the issue in the city. Since then, city officials, bylaw officers, and the county of Simcoe have been working tirelessly to move encampments off the street and provide shelter and support to individuals experiencing homelessness. The city wasted no time in clearing encampments, 2 days later blocking off Mulcaster Street, clearing the tents in front of the courthouse.
There's going to be action taken immediately, but it's going to require, obviously, a ton of help and support and a ton of diligence on behalf of the city to make sure that we don't end up back in the place where encampments are accepted again.
The county of Simcoe opening up shelter spaces for those individuals who accepted help, saying all 44 people on Mulcaster now have accommodation. The very next week, Mayor Nuttall wrote a letter to both the provincial and federal governments, inviting them to visit Barrie to see the situation plaguing residents. Premier Doug Ford addressed the encampments on September 19th at an event in Markdale.
These encampments aren't good, I'll tell you. There's a lot of drugs happening, there was guns, there was weapons, there was bullets. It's uncalled for. Premier
then made an unannounced appearance in Barrie the following day to see the situation for himself.
There are places where people used to walk their kids in parks, and it doesn't matter where you are in Ontario. Why does less than 1% of the people take over a park for 99% of the population that uses it? It's unacceptable.
We were able to really get down to where we believe we need help to, get these encampments gone.
The same week, city officials dismantling another encampment off Bradford Street, where media were given access to individuals before they had to leave.
People don't want to help. They think we're less. We're all human beings. We all live in the same community. We all have children. We don't have children. It doesn't matter. We're humans. We need to be coming together to stop this stuff.
The city provided an update on October 6th, saying there are 26 active encampments around the city of Barrie, with 111 individuals living in those encampments. In an interview on Monday, Mayor Nuttall saying he has seen an improvement.
The reality is, if we're going to improve our community, it's going to happen one person at a time. That means each individual needs to get that individual help because every situation is different, and that needs to happen inside of that rehabilitation.
When asked if the state of emergency could be coming to an end, Mayor Nuttall said they are about a third of the way complete, with more encampments becoming dismantled as shelter spaces and support services become available. Luke Simard, CTV News, Barrie.
As a reminder, we've launched a special page on our website where you can track every update about the state of emergency and encampments as it happens. Head to ctvnews.ca/Barrie and click on the Barrie Encampment Latest highlight button. A man accused of a violent kidnapping case stretching from Mississauga to Orillia was in court today, looking to be released on bail. CTV's Mike Arcelidis reports on the ongoing investigation and the allegations tied to a group of GTA men.
Surjit Singh Bains will be spending his 63rd birthday in jail tonight after being denied bail accused of attempted murder in the alleged kidnapping and torture of a Mississauga man who may have owed Bains $650,000. Bains was arrested late last month, accused with 4 other men of kidnapping the man, who was found bound with zip ties, violently beaten in an abandoned building at the corner of Peter and Colborne Streets in downtown Orillia. The Crown filed exhibits, including 2 surveillance videos showing several men pursuing and kidnapping a man in a parking garage in Mississauga 2 days earlier. The court heard the man told police he believed he was going to be killed by his captors, saying he was bound against his will and assaulted over 2 days using weapons that included knives and metal pipes. The man said alcohol was poured down his throat to make him docile. Losing track of time, he told police he believed he'd been kidnapped for 5 days. It's alleged the man was held for ransom, telling police he owed his captors a total of about $1.2 million. Baines' lawyer Tom Pittman dismissed any notion his client was the mastermind of the kidnapping and beating. The Crown said Baines was found with what appeared to be blood on his shoe after police were called to the scene to investigate suspicious activity in the area that included a U-Haul van outside an abandoned building. All 5 accused were found inside with the victim. Despite his loved ones pledging $50,000, Justice of the Peace Jennifer Martin ruled the sureties did not meet the onus of proving their release plan was sufficient. The court heard Baines runs a small business with his 4 sons and may have known the victim for about 10 years. Baines' co-accused Manraj Man, Dwayne Pennant, Baltay Sandhu, and Gurji Anthony Gorburn are seeking special bail hearings to secure release from jail. Baines' lawyer not pleased with his client's detention.
Very disappointed. An appropriate plan of release, and Justice of the Peace missed the mark on this one.
Baines will remain in custody and is scheduled to make his next appearance from jail in Penetanguishene in a week's time. The allegations against the accused have not been tested in court. Mike Arsley, CTV News, Barrie.
Barrie police are continuing to investigate an incident from June. Detectives are looking to speak with the 3 people in these photos. One with a walker, one with a bicycle, and one seen at a bus stop. It's about a case of a woman found with serious injuries in the backyard of a home on Henry Street, June 5th. If you have any information, you're asked to contact police. Turning now to Richmond Hill, where a man was killed last night in what police are calling an unprovoked attack. CTV's John Musselman has the details.
Neighbors on this Richmond Hill street say the unprovoked attack has people feeling anxious and scared. This man didn't want to appear on camera, but he says he's considering adding stronger locks on his doors and more security cameras outside his home.
It could be anyone. Actually, my wife was planning to go for a walk at about that exactly same time.
York Regional Police were called to this home on Lorraine Street in Richmond Hill just before 5 p.m. on Wednesday evening. A 54-year-old man was assaulted outside of his home in what investigators describe as an unprovoked attack. The victim, identified as Amir Shafi, was transported to hospital with life-threatening injuries. He did not survive. CTV News has obtained this security video. It shows the accused, identified as 23-year-old Raymond Kim, walking towards the house just minutes before the attack. He's wearing a hoodie and walks slowly down the sidewalk. There is no weapon visible in this camera angle. York Regional Police say he has been charged with second-degree murder and breach of probation. This neighbor saw the accused walking down the street seconds before it happened.
Horrible, because because I'm concerned so much. I walking at night, sometimes like 8, 9. So I do a lot of exercise. So we're horrified.
Police are currently not looking for any additional suspects. There is no additional risk to the public at this time.
The motive is unknown. We did speak briefly with the brother of the victim this morning, who told us he had no idea why this happened, but the family wants justice. The investigation is ongoing. Anyone with information or security video is asked to contact York Regional Police. John Musselman, CTV News.
Some tourist information centers across the region are closing their doors, leaving visitors and locals alike wondering what it means for travel and tourism operators. CTV's Rob Cooper has that story.
It's the end of an era for the Destination Ontario building in Barrie, formerly known as the Ontario Travel Information Centre. CTV News has learned the building is shutting down at the end of today. However, online assistance will still be available. People using the in-person service today are disappointed to hear the news.
Because we're strangers to the place, we don't know anything about the culture or anything how to get from A to B. It's just everything. You know, I think it's going to be a real shame.
Destination Ontario released this statement today. To better reflect how travelers plan and take their trips, we're gradually transitioning 6 of our 9 Ontario tourism information centres from traditional physical locations to more dynamic and modernized service models. It goes on to say that the centres in Barrie, Hawkesbury, Niagara Falls, Tilbury, Toronto and Windsor are closing as part of this latest shift. The centre has helped local and out-of-town visitors navigate their way through the city and up to cottage country and beyond for decades. The current building was built in 1994 after the province forced it to move to its current location to make room for a highway expansion. Staff say they get many out-of-town and out-of-country people looking for assistance every day. The people who use the service were not aware of its closure.
I just said in the car that I love these visitor centers. They're usually very, very helpful in getting around and getting all the information. This is really the truth. We really enjoy the travel visitor centers because they know everything.
Tourism Barrie will step up our services, and you'll probably see more residents coming in looking for information on their trips throughout Ontario.
Now, Destination Ontario says travelers will still be able to access trip planning help by calling 1-800-ONTARIO. Its locations in Pigeon River, Sault Ste. Marie, and Baynesville will remain open. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Barrie.
Now, Casey Colby is here with our first look at weather. Casey, you're having a good time down there.
Oh, he's having a good time. That's right. We're at Zares Bayfield. We're talking turkey. My buddy Jason. He's a huge Blue Jay fan, named after the Blue Jays, Jason. Jason, how big a turkey are you looking to get?
Probably this big. And just a little smaller.
Just a little smaller. Nicely done. You hang on to that. It's kind of cold, isn't it? Yeah, you want to go shopping for turkey. You want to learn about turkey. We're in the right place. We're going to talk turkey today. That's what we're going to do. But right now, I got to talk weather, okay?
Yeah.
First look at the forecast. Let's go. And the first look at the forecast, ladies and gentlemen, is brought to you by Presler Injury Law. Call 1-800-JUSTICE. You want to throw that turkey inside? There you go, right ahead. Hoist it up. Whoa, yeah, there. Yeah, we're talking turkey in a few minutes, but there's nothing talking turkey today as far as forecast goes. And current conditions right now, we're looking at 9 degrees, and the winds are light out of the east at 7 kilometers an hour. Say, what's the temperature outside your door as we speak? And it looks like, well, look at that, Jason. Looks like we have 11 degrees in Mount Forest. What number is that in Alliston? What's that say?
10.
10. And what number's that say in Newmarket?
10.
10. And the last one, what's that number say right there in Owen Sound?
13.
Lucky 13. You're right, Jason. How about a quick look, if you will? Come on in and take a look at the radar satellite images, and oh, what a day. Clear skies, sunny skies, a little on the cool side, as a matter of fact. Some of the temperatures we're enjoying now were our overnight lows just a little while ago. But lows, we're on a high though, aren't we? Because of the Blue Jays, right? A huge Blue Jay fan. Give me a high five on that one and enjoy your turkey. Stick around if you want. We'll talk turkey and maybe even the forecast too and find out if that's a turkey. All that in a few minutes time. Yeah, you want to say see you later.
See you later.
Yeah, see you later. Jack, back to you.
Thanks, Casey and Jason. Now, Thanksgiving's right around the corner, and so is the official end of the boating season. Park Canada's getting ready to close the locks, but not before one more weekend on the water. Here's CTV's Mike Lang with what you need to know.
Port Severn was as calm as the Trent Severn Waterway on Thursday, but locals are getting ready for Thanksgiving and the last busy weekend of boat traffic.
There's a lot of people that are, they're still wanting to get out there and stay in those boats, right? They're taking up every bit of the sunshine that they can.
According to Parks Canada, nearly 2,100 vessels made their way through the Trent Severn lock system in October of last year. For Raleigh Resort Spa and Marina, boaters account for nearly 20% of its guests.
We definitely noticed an increase of people coming through the Trent there, for sure.
For local eateries, Thanksgiving is the start of the switch from boaters to snowmobilers.
It's that last weekend usually where everyone wants to come up here and get the last little bit of sunshine, boating, see the beautiful trees changing.
But with the dry conditions this summer and early fall, Parks Canada issued a low water level advisory this week, stating that levels along part of the Trent Severn Waterway are expected to recede to the minimum or below the navigable range after the locks close for the season on Monday at 4:30.
This advisory is basically just reminding folks that it's been a dry summer. We don't have as much water to play with as we usually may have, and to keep that in mind when thinking about storing their vessels.
Parks Canada adds that levels could recede more than usual in the Kawartha sector, and they could fall below the minimum navigation level from Lock 19 through Lock 36.
Be careful of your surroundings. Kind of have your head on a swivel and be safe out there. We don't want any incidents on the last full weekend of the summer.
With the advisory in place, boaters are urged to plan ahead before haul out and winter preparation. But at the same time, Parks Canada says that the low water levels could reduce the potential risk of high water and ice damage during the winter. Mike Lang, CTV News, Port Severn.
Now, fire crews were back on the scene in a heavily forested area north of Beers Road today, where a stubborn wildfire has been burning since Monday. After a lengthy battle, the fire has now officially been declared out. Officials say the difficult terrain, limited water sources, and swamps made fighting the 1.5-hectare fire challenging. People in Springwater have once again made their feelings known on Barrie's proposed boundary adjustment.
Welcome to this public meeting of Springwater Township, held under Section 1733 of the Municipal Act, to give the public an opportunity to express their views in regard to the proposed boundary adjustment.
Many at the meeting spoke in support of Mayor Jennifer Coughlin, who's faced significant criticism during talks around the planned land transfer. The mayor declined to give an interview. Barrie is looking to take over large swaths of land in Springwater and Oro-Medonte for housing and, more controversially, industry. But there were people on both sides of the fence at the meeting.
Our development is ready to go pretty much. I mean, we'll still have to go through Springwater and get you know, all the different approvals and things like that. But it all hinges on the servicing from the city of Barrie, and the city of Barrie has told us that they can handle the developments.
I love Springwater Township. It's a wonderful place to live. I don't want to see it get abused and shrink and become a poor have-not township.
Barrie's promised what the city says is fair compensation and warned that if the province has to intervene, then that could be lost. So far, the province has been in support of the plan. People living in the lands to be annexed, on the other hand, have questioned both the value and necessity of the move. The County of Simcoe is holding its own public meeting on the boundary adjustment Tuesday morning and Oro-Medonte Wednesday evening. Meanwhile, Orillia City Council has decided not to move forward with a plan to allow drinking in municipal parks. The conversation around the idea first came up after Toronto launched a pilot program last year giving green light to alcohol consumption in its parks. But after review, Orillia Council voted to keep the current rules in place, means no sipping in green spaces. The Blue Jays have punched their ticket to the ALCS after taking down the Yankees in Game 4. And as CTV's Raheem Delahani reports, there's no shortage of excitement from fans.
Bedazzled in blue, Jays fans are embracing every moment of Toronto's postseason push.
It's great for the city, it's great for the economy, and it pulls the country together.
For the first time since 2016, the Jays are heading back to the American League Championship Series.
It's the team of destiny. I'm inspired.
I have been a fan since day one. I was 93. I was here when we won the World Series, so this is very exciting for me.
Start spreading the news. We're going!
In the Bronx, the teams popped bottles of champagne after eliminating the New York Yankees from the postseason. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
The Yankee lose.
Taunted, tortured Yankees fans Wednesday night.
I'd like to show you one of my prized possessions.
Watching it all unfold from her home was 88-year-old Joyce Zweig.
Well, I thought I was going to have a heart attack.
Zweig and her family have been to every Jays home opener since the inaugural one at Exhibition Stadium back in 1977.
I did not believe that we really were going to have a major league team in Toronto. It was a terrible day. It was cold, it was snowy.
Even as a lifelong fan, though, Zweig wasn't able to snag a seat for the upcoming ALCS home games. And she isn't the only one struggling to access tickets.
50,000th in line, have a couple windows open for Game 7, Game 1. And thankfully, I scored one ticket for Game 7, like right up high.
The Jays still don't know if they'll face the Detroit Tigers or Seattle Mariners in the next round. But inside the Jays shop, fans buying merchandise have high expectations.
Add it to the collection, collect them as we go. And the next one will be a World Series one, hopefully.
As the Jays are 4 wins away from appearing in the World Series. Raheem Ladani, CTV News.
Student at St. Charles School in Bradford, West Gwillimbury brought to the ballpark to the classroom today a full-on Jays Spirit Day. As you can see, the school was decked out in blue as students and staff showed their love for the Toronto Blue Jays as they continue their fight for a spot in the World Series. Leading the cheers, their vice principal, all for turning her passion for the Jays into a teaching tool.
Sports are so great for students' well-being, their mental health, their physical health, and we're also promoting celebrating something together. You don't have to be best friends with someone who's wearing a jersey. You just know that you're on the same team. And the Blue Jays has just been a wonderful way for us to come together as a school community.
As the Jays continue their postseason run, the school hopes to continue celebrating at assemblies, showing game highlights during recess, and of course, cheering loudly. Coming up, they're creepy, crafty, and collecting canned goods. See how Wasaga Beach neighbors are helping feed their community with scarecrows. Plus, see how a man turned a classic car into a blast from the past with a whole lot of movie magic. You're watching CTV News Barrie. A Wasaga Beach group says the only thing more fun than a Halloween scarecrow is a Halloween scarecrow. Sharecrow. More spooky, it helps. The idea is to build your own sharecrow, stick it out in front, and get your friends and neighbors to drop off food donation. The sharecrows come from a local group, Beach Bite, who say Halloween can be a little bit sweeter when you're helping feed the community.
We've already got the fire halls signed up and registered. The local OPP station is signed up and registered. So there's a lot of excitement that we're trying to build around this.
And then on November 1st, everybody's going to bring their food donations to the Royal Canadian Legion. Food will be weighed and sorted and packaged up and taken to the food bank by our great volunteer drivers.
Maps are available online, so you can tour the town's most beautiful sharecrows, from silly to spooky to totally over the top. The U15 Barrie Colts team traded sticks for shovels today, getting into the dirt at Shear Park. The local hockey players teamed up with the environmental charity Living Green in Barrie to kick off the first in a series of tree planting events all throughout the month. You're invited to roll up your sleeves and help grow Barrie's urban forest. No experience necessary, just a willingness to get your hands dirty for a good cause. The next one is October 16th at Ferris Park. And he was known for his cranberries, his treats, and his big heart. This weekend, the Aurelia Fairgrounds Farmers Market is paying tribute to the Cranberry Man. For nearly 25 years, Doug Pierce was a beloved fixture at the market, sharing his homemade goodies with a warm spirit with anyone who stopped by. This Saturday, his family will be at his booth to carry on his legacy, and you're invited to stop in, share a memory, and celebrate a market legend. For information on all our local events, along with other stories, you can go to our website. That's where you can watch our news live online and find all your local stories and breaking news as it happens. Just head to ctvnews.ca/Barrie or scan the QR code on your screen. A Cape Breton man is turning heads with a homemade replica of a famous Hollywood car. The old Pontiac Fiero converted into the DeLorean from Back to the Future. CTV's Ryan McDonald gives us a look.
It's a vehicle that doesn't just make you feel nostalgic, it almost seems like it could quite literally take you back in time.
My little fellas and I just one day said, let's do something fun for Halloween.
The plan was to do the best they could to recreate the time-traveling DeLorean from the Back to the Future movies. A few years ago, John Nolan of Catalone, Nova Scotia, purchased this old Pontiac Fiero.
Like the DeLorean, it's kind of got the same shape, same appeal. It's a two-seater, rear-mounted engine.
Then he and his young sons got to work, giving it a new aluminum paint job and decorating it with whatever they could find in thrift stores and at the curbs during the annual heavy garbage pickup.
And just made a little collection, put it all together, put it out by the road, and it was a big hit. Lots of people stopped, a lot of smiles.
Not only does it look ready for liftoff after dark, but it has all the bells and whistles that any time traveler might need.
We had to make that because no time machine is complete without its hoverboard. And we just used an old snowboard. My little fellas painted that.
Only recently, the creator of this makeshift DeLorean decided to sell it to another fan of all things retro who lives here in Membertou.
The sales pitch was, I told the fellow that it was only used from time to time, so I don't think that I was stretching the truth too much with it.
In the end, it's a nice homage to a classic movie.
I remember going to the theater with my father And I just didn't think I'd be building one and put in my front yard years later.
From 1985 to 2025, it's a journey that took this man back to the future and beyond. Ryan McDonald, CTV News on the Member 2 First Nation.
Coming up, turkey, stuffing, and all the fixins. We're talking Thanksgiving prep with tips straight from your local grocery store. But first, let's check in with KC.
Hey, did you know that last year Canadians bought 2.1 million turkeys for Thanksgiving? Coming up, turkey tips with Joel Silver here at Zares Bayfield. All that coming up just a few minutes' time. And our weather watch artiste is not turkey. No, it's Ryder. He says squirrels are gathering acorns in his yard, getting ready for winter. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Picture this. Brought to you by Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106.
We're leafing it to you this week. Show us your most stunning autumn shots, from golden leaves to homemade pies. If it screams fall, send it in to picture this at ctv.ca. Now, speaking of someone who screams fall, Casey Colby, how you doing?
I'm screaming turkey. That's what I'm screaming. I think everyone else, or ham maybe, or tofurkey, or whatever really makes you Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's what it's all about. And coming up in a few minutes' time, yes, we are at Zares Bayfield, and we're going to be talking turkey with Joel Silver here, who runs the turkey department and everything else that goes on here at Zares Bayfield. Let's talk about the weather, though, because there's nothing turkey about that. Let's dive right into it, starting with the temperature just outside your door as we speak. How about 10 degrees in Newmarket, 10 in Newmarket, 12 in the Sunshine City of Orillia. Looks like 12 degrees in Owen Sound, 10 in Toronto, 11 in Mount Forest, and give us 11 degrees as well in Parry Sound. This is the almanac for today. 11 and 0, that's the high, that's the low, and a record 27 degrees back in 2018. Wow. And -3 back in 2001, record low. We are going down. Are we going down as low as -3? I'll let you know in a couple of minutes. Sunrise, sunset, 7:27, it's up. 6:42, it's down. A grand total of about, 11 hours and 14 minutes of daylight. Roll that forecast radar for me, please, Adam. And as we roll that forecast radar, we see lots of activity in the northern part of the province, and a little something coming our way, too. When will it arrive, you say? Well, let me say, I'll let you know in a couple of seconds. This is the southern tip of Georgian Bay, Lake Simcoe. Overnight temperatures settling in 0 under clear skies this evening. And tomorrow we're going up to 17 degrees. Hey, we start off sunny. We end up very cloudy and perhaps maybe even a shower late tomorrow night. And the wind's picking up 20 to 40 k out of the south. This is Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill, where there is a frost advisory this evening. Frost on the turkey. Bring the turkey in, please. Clear skies this evening, and 1 and 0 for the overnight lows. For tomorrow, how about 16 and 17 degrees? Mainly sunny skies for us to enjoy tomorrow. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Now to Parry Sound, Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Halliburton, -5 in Halliburton overnight. That's some kind of chilly. It is. Clear skies, so go out for a walk, but boy, you're certainly going to need a sweater or a light jacket this evening. And then for tomorrow, it looks like 15, 16, 17 degrees and a sun and cloud mix to enjoy. That's tonight and tomorrow. Now, time for the Diamond and Diamond Lawyers 5-day extended forecast. And it looks like this. And here we go, starting with Simcoe County. And here comes the cloud cover. Yes, we saw it on the forecast radar. Moving its way in, showers rolling in, or a very good chance there are showers. This looks like Saturday's cloudy skies, 40% chance of showers. 15 degrees, 15 again on Sunday, and 15 again on Monday. And the cloud rules. We were on a sun run, now it's cloud taking over, and 16 degrees again on the Tuesday under cloudy skies. This is the 5-day extended forecast for York Region, and as we take a look at York Region, it's looking like cloudy and 30% chance of showers on Saturday, 15 degrees, 15 again on Sunday, minus the showers, cloudy skies, cloudy again on a holiday Monday, 16 and 9, the high and the low. Tuesday looks like much the same. bump it up a degree. Yeah, well, for the high anyway. Muskoka, Parry Sound, Halliburton, have a look. Saturday, we got to go north. If you're looking for sunshine, go north, because sun and cloud mix, slight chance of showers on Saturday. Sunday, it looks like a very lovely day. Sun and cloud, 15 degrees. Beautiful on the holiday Monday, too. Nothing turkey about that. 15 degrees and sun and cloud, and 15 degrees, make that 14 degrees on the Tuesday. And it looks like sun and cloud mix and 14. And right now, we're in the turkey department, but there's nothing turkey about Joel Silver of Zehrs Bayfield. Thank you very much. We've been having some fun looking at turkeys, looking at everything else that we've got here. But we're talking turkey. We're talking exactly what to do with the turkey. What do you suggest? I mean, we've got the turkey. Where do we go from there?
All right. Well, hopefully everybody's sitting down, because there's a couple of things to consider, okay? So first of all, you got to consider what kind of turkey you have. Is it a grade A turkey? It's going to be a butterball turkey, which is basted with Baysell margarine, or our PC President's Choice turkey with delicious Belgian butter. It's fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. So you got to choose that first. So once you choose that, then you got to decide whether you want it stuffed or non-stuffed. You can get both the butterball and the PC turkey in stuffed and non-stuffed. And then once you got to figure it out, then it's the cooking. So generally, yes, the cooking. So you got to do that right. You got to make sure you cook it. So that's for number one. And when you have on the turkeys, there's generally on the PC and butterball, there is instructions. But like for just a quick example, a 9 to 11 pound turkey is going to take anywhere between 5 and 6 hours. That's going to be ready to go. Delicious. Now, the other thing you got to consider is your sides. So we got everything here for you at Zehrs Bayfield. Whether you're going for the cranberry sauce, which we have here, the gravies, either produce department, your Brussels sprouts, your green beans, your potatoes. I mean, you got to have potatoes, right? Mashed potatoes.
Yeah. Do you like sweet potatoes, Joe?
Oh, definitely sweet potatoes. You got to have them both. Two types of potatoes.
Do you ever put marshmallows with them?
I've had that. And I've heard of it. It's delicious. And once you have all that together, it's a fantastic, fantastic meal, and you're ready to go. So all your Thanksgiving needs right here, Zehrs Bayfield. We'll see you here.
What about the pie?
Oh, dessert, absolutely. I'm sorry. You know what? You're right. We can't.
I want pie.
Yeah. Usually, by the time I'm done with the turkey, and I'm usually there's no room for pie. But yes, we have your pies here. So all your apples, your rhubarb, strawberry, raspberry, blueberry, all the pies you can have here. Cheesecakes. You name it. It's here ready to go for desserts. And we have a fantastic cake counter as well. So
can you get a turkey cake?
I've seen it. I've actually seen it. It's true in some of the stores. But you could. It's cake in a turkey form. It's interesting. Why not, right? Yeah. And best of both worlds. So absolutely, whatever you need.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. We're not going to use that and trademark it. But yeah, we're good to go. We got everything you need right here at Zehrs Bayfield.
Well, thank you very much for turkey tips and everything else, Joel. Thank you very much, Zehrs Bayfield. Talking turkey, it's always a good time with Joel. Take it away.
Another sure sign of fall, the time of year when trees start losing their leaves. But one in BC is actually gaining something, ties. CTV's Adam Sawatsky explains.
Over and under.
When it comes to tying ties,
once you do this a couple of thousand times,
Bob Lamb doesn't really need a mirror.
You can do it in your sleep.
He first learned when he was little and mastered it after becoming a banker.
Wore a tie every day I worked for 60-odd years.
Bob also wore a tie that day he married his wife, Marnie.
He had to fit into a very conservative business role, but he was secretly a bit of a rebel.
When he wasn't conspiring with his co-workers to wear bow ties every Thursday, which earned him a nickname,
Bob, Bow Tie Bob.
Bob was running the Boston Marathon in a suit and tie.
You can do it the hard way or you can do it the fun way.
When Bob retired, he gifted or donated many of the more than 50 ties he no longer needed, until a flowering tree that was pruned too hard left them with a bunch of bare branches.
So Bob came up with the idea of, let's hang a few ties on it. And then it just kind of blossomed from there.
Although there were few floral print ties in Bob's remaining collection, he and Marnie ensured the tree proliferated with plaids and paisleys and bloomed with bow ties all year round.
So the ties brought it back to life.
But then, thanks to strangers walking by, the tie tree took on a life of its own.
And all of a sudden, ties were appearing. People would stop by, and I would encourage, just add to the collection.
They've ranged from other seniors celebrating retirement to a private school student marking her graduation.
It's been a source of joy just for us, but also people walking by. So I think the tree's happy.
And like this one tie Bob has kept, featuring the lyrics to John Lennon's Imagine, he hopes that all the people will someday join him.
To just share the love and the joy
and realize that while some may see a tie as constricting, it can also blossom into something uniting. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
Still to come, questions are swirling about what was accomplished in Washington this week. More on what came from Prime Minister's meeting with President Donald Trump and what it means for the auto sector. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
The Fall Color Report, brought to you by Canador Garage Doors, delivering great service to your door in Simcoe County and Muskoka.
Recapping our top stories, it's been a month since Barrie's state of emergency began. 4 major encampments torn down, a visit from the Premier, and calls for help from the feds. Mayor Alex Nuttall says they're a third of the way done and will continue to dismantle encampments as shelter spaces open up. Some local travel information centers are closing in Muskoka and Barrie, part of a change to a provincial tourism strategy. Visitors are now being directed to plan their trips online or by phone. It's the last weekend for boating season. A dry summer has seen water levels on the Trent-Severn waterway drop. As a result, there won't be enough water for boats to safely navigate it soon. The locks will be shut for the season Tuesday afternoon, a little earlier than normal. Questions still remain about exactly what Prime Minister Mark Carney achieved during his meeting in Washington. CTV's Mike Couture reports. A comment from the U.S. Secretary of Commerce has raised concerns across the border.
A day after the American Commerce Secretary said Canada must come second to the U.S. in the auto sector, Canadian lawmakers and car makers insist the industry isn't in danger.
They don't ask, is it Canadian or American? They said, can we ship it by Tuesday?
At a Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, Canadian automotive groups tried to calm the waters. The head of the Canadian Vehicle Manufacturers Association says Howard Lutnick's comments are just posturing.
We know that we need each other. We have an integrated supply chain. Canada is the most important market for the U.S. auto manufacturing sector. So we should expect these ups and downs through the next few weeks.
The U.S. currently has a 25% tariff on Canadian-made cars, with a carve-out for the U.S. elements in those vehicles. However, the Canadian auto parts industry says their American counterparts are lobbying the White House.
Those Canadian assembly plants buy $25 billion worth of parts from our factories every year, and you're hurting us.
The Ford Motor Company reported that tariffs will cost it about $2 billion U.S. this year. General Motors lost $1.1 billion in the second quarter. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says the Prime Minister isn't standing up for the industry.
He's accepting second place for Canadian auto workers and continuing tariffs on our finished products.
The federal finance minister disagrees, saying the Carney government is fighting for the auto sector and its workers.
I see ourselves, when I say that, Canada and the U.S. more as complementary than in real competition.
That argument is likely being made by the Minister of Canada-U.S. Trade, Dominic LeBlanc, who remains in Washington to continue talks with his American counterparts. Mike Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
And while the auto industry faces its own challenges, markets are feeling the pressure today, with stocks taking a hit across the board. Here's a look at the numbers. The TSX was down 232 points. The Dow was down 243. And the Nasdaq was down 18. In commodities, oil was down, closing at $61.51 a barrel. Gold was also down, finishing at $39.72 an ounce. And our dollar was down, ending the day at 71.43 cents U.S. Meanwhile, PepsiCo beat expectations in the third quarter with nearly $24 billion in revenue. The company says it's facing pressure from investors and customers, pushback over price hikes. PepsiCo says tariffs cut into profits, but they expect stronger beverage sales later this year. The District of Muskoka is taking out the trash in a new way. Starting with the beginning of next year, clear, colorless bags are required when dropping off household garbage at district waste facilities or transfer stations. It's the final step in Muskoka's Clear Bag program, a move officials say is already paying off with less garbage and more organics being diverted away from landfills. The Simcoe County District School Board is gearing up for French immersion registration for kids going into grade 1. Programs offered at select schools across the county aiming to help students become confident French speakers. Applications open online December 1st. They close the 12th. Entries decided through a lottery. Students are limited to 40 spots per site. The Princess of Wales is calling on parents to put down their phones. Princess Catherine says too much screen time is fueling an epidemic of disconnection, hurting families. She says devices that promise to keep us connected often do the opposite. The princess has made early childhood development a key focus of her work and says strong family bonds start with being present. And speaking of being present, one man who mastered that moment was Bob Ross. 30 of his iconic paintings are now set to hit the auction block, with all proceeds supporting public television in the U.S. Still to come, her latest album, smashing records, and this time it's Showgirl Takeover. We'll share more on how Taylor Swift is continuing to make history. You're watching CTV News Barrie. Now taking a look at your primetime lineup. Starting right after the show, the NFL Thursday night pregame. At 8:15, kickoff Philadelphia at the New York Giants. And at 11 o'clock, CTV News. The Maple Leafs broke the ice on their 25-26 campaign last night against the Montreal Canadiens.
On a break, Matthew dies, and Montembeault makes the stop. In front, Riley scores!
Morgan Riley gave the Leafs the lead midway through the third period. They added a pair of empty net goals to win their way to 5-3. The Buds in Blue will be back on the ice Saturday against the Red Wings in Detroit. And on the court in Sacramento, the Toronto Raptors beat the Kings last night.
The offseason, he wants to make Sacramento home as Ingram connects.
Raptors forward Brandon Ingram led the charge with a game-high 21 points. Toronto opens the regular season in Atlanta October 22nd, and their official home opener game against the Milwaukee Bucks is set for October 24th. At this point, it's not rare for Taylor Swift to break records on the music charts, but this one is big. Her album, Life of a Showgirl, has been the best first week for any album since music streaming became popular. Just 5 days after its release, it surpassed 3.5 million equivalent album units. That represents both sales and streams. Now time to check in with Casey to see what weather conditions you can expect heading into Friday. Case.
Oh, Jack, the Thanksgiving weekend, well, your wardrobe's going to change from head to toe, if you know what I mean. But hang on to your suspenders, Jack, and make sure that you have yourself a happy Thanksgiving. We're going to start it off with Friday. Yeah, the Get Up and Go forecast looks like this first thing tomorrow morning. Have a look. First thing, we're looking at sunshine in Barrie, 4 degrees, 5 degrees, and plenty of sunshine in Newmarket, a few clouds in Gravenhurst, and 3 degrees. That is the Get Up and Go forecast. Jack.
That's our newscast for tonight. I'll be back on the desk at 11 o'clock. Until then, good night.